troops home! Bring the 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 troops home! I want to welcome everybody today, this great sunny August 25th, to the first People's March for Peace, Equality, Jobs, and Justice.
The People's March is sponsored by the Peace and Justice Coalition, which is comprised of more than 100, let me check that, more than 150 diverse grassroots organizations.
The United States war on Iraq must be brought to an end, and the U.S. government must begin to concentrate on solving the dire economic and social problems in the United States. This is an immoral and illegal war.
We went to sleep again in the 90s and we took a nap. When we woke up, we were being divided by class. We were convinced by mainstream media, corporate America, and religious communities and politicians that low-income women were responsible for our tax increases and that something had to be done. And they placed the blame on those low-class women on welfare, having all those babies and not working. Those welfare queens were the cause of high taxes. Scapegoats is the tool of the powers that be.
Immigrants are being harassed and deported without due process. The numbers of people in prison or detained are exploding. Environmental pollution and global warming threaten our very existence. State governments cannot adequately respond to natural disasters because many of their National Guardsmen and equipment are being used for the war in Iraq by the United States military.
Everybody knows what the agenda is. And this is not the totality of issues. This is the beginning of our effort to put together a people's agenda and a people's movement. Not only to end this war, but to do as Dr. King said, we need a radical redistribution of power and wealth in America.
As Brother Ham told you, my name is Charles Hall Jr. I'm the president of Local 108, Retail, Wholesale, and Department Store Union, and a proud member of the UFCW, 1.3 million strong.
I'm here because I am the author of the only universal single-payer health care bill that's in the Congress. Everybody in, nobody out.
I'm a Palestinian. Nobody can take that away from me. Not identity cards or refugee status or security apparatuses restricting my movement, and I'll come back stronger than any Zionist entity. But not for ethnocentric liberty, but for peace, based on equality. I'm a Palestinian. What are you?
A couple of words. One word called vacation. The president is on vacation. The Congress is on vacation. The Iraqi parliament is on vacation. But our loved ones in Iraq and Iran, covering Iran and in Afghanistan, they're not on vacation. They're out there dying while people are sitting in Kitty Bunkport. While they sitting in their Tony mansions, we're suffering and dying. My son died in Iraq in December 05 due to the fact that he couldn't get a break. He couldn't get a break because he couldn't get a job.
Stop the killing in Iraq. Stop the killing in the hood. End the violence in Iraq. End the violence in our neighborhood. And so we should never separate. And I wouldn't like anybody to try to separate and say, well, the violence in Iraq is different. Violence is violence.
There's no anti-war without anti-imperialism, and a lot of y'all can be against the war, but you're passive and pessimistic against imperialism. And unless you fight imperialism with the same kind of energy that you say you're going to fight war, war will continue because the source of war is imperialism and monopoly capitalism.
Racial equality has not yet been realized for African Americans and other communities of color in our country.
And then just arrested him for no reason, just for being, how you could just say, just for being black at night, walking WWB, walking while being black. Our goal is just to fight to stop this police brutality. Speak up, don't be afraid, and all those behind us that are afraid, we want them to speak up too.
If it wasn't for us, it would never get done. A lot of folks out there, they've never had to experience some of the things, unfortunately, some of the folks that I share the stage with have gone through. Like the brother said, at least he still has his loved one to be here to still love. We, on the other hand, lost ours forever at the hands of those that were supposed to protect us.
We all have to stick together. We all have to fight this. Because next time, it might be somebody in your household. It's not a good feeling. I miss my child. There's an open heart hole in your heart. It's something you can never bring back. You can tell me you have good police officers on the force, but that doesn't bring him back.
If you got any kids, my son had just turned 26. His birthday was July the 8th. They killed him July the 30th.
Good afternoon. My name is Elizabeth Moore. My son, Rashid Moore, was shot and killed by Newark police. They shot him over 17 times in his car with his hands up on his way home. We need a change. We need a change.
Really giving a hand and thanking the Peace and Justice Coalition for today. And we should also thank Larry Hamm and the People's Organization for Progress for steering this coalition through so many months. Because, sisters and brothers, this is a kind of movement that we need. We should see and can see today as a beginning of a surge of resistance going into a fall of protest, resistance. We need to turn up the heat. I'm speaking to you from Troops Out Now Coalition about September 22nd to the 29th, an encampment right in front of the Capitol, just as they're voting billions and billions, $140 more billion for this war. No, no. A mass march in Washington is what we need, September 29th, and we need unity with all of the actions that are happening in September, in October, for peace, equality, jobs, and justice. Together we can change the agenda. We can be part of a whole new wave of resistance that's demanding no justice, no peace,